Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Kitchen Chaos with Jackie. Today we are going to make another low carb favorite food, so bagels. I used to love bagels, but I haven't really had a bagel in probably close to 15 years. Like a regular bagel that you get from the bakery. Oh, they're so delicious with a big slather of cream cheese on them or some butter. But when I had gastric bypass surgery, I could no longer eat a bagel. That it was just too much. So fast forward years, probably a good 10 years, well, they came out with those bagel thins at the store. I think they're made by Thomas's. You know which ones I mean, though. They're like just a very thin version of a bagel. So I'm like, oh, that's great. I can have bagels again. So, of course, I started falling back into the old habits of eating carbohydrates. And then what happened? I gained weight. I gained 50 pounds back. It was ridiculous just because of those small slip ups. So I haven't had even those kind of bagels in probably a good 5, 6 years. So I found a recipe on Pinterest for keto bagel. So I'm really excited to try this. It's a similar version to a cheese bread thing that I make. I don't know. I haven't made it for you yet, but I'm going to because I also did something different with it. Not going to tell you right now. We'll figure that out later, okay? So today we're going to try to make keto bagels. You're not going to believe this. It's cheese and egg. That's it. All right, but I think it's going to be delicious. So come on, play with me and let's check this out, okay? All right, guys, so would you believe these are all the ingredients that we're going to be using for these keto bagels? It is a cup of any kind of melty cheese that you like. So in the recipe that I found, she had suggested mozzarella, cheddar. I had some pepper jack cheese, so that's what we're going to do today. She also said to use, I think it's a half a cup of a harder cheese, so like Parmesan, Asiago. I just happened to buy some Parmesan cheese at the store, so I had that in the freezer. So I pulled that out. We're going to do 2 eggs, and to top it, we're going to use some anything but the bagel seasoning. Now, this is something that Trader Joe's, I guess, had come out with. I don't have a Trader Joe's anywhere near me, but I read about it, and it was everybody says how delicious it is. I found this one at Aldi's. I actually was going to make my own. I just hadn't found all the ingredients yet. I just happened to come across it, so I picked it up, and it really is delicious. I use it on my hard-boiled eggs. But my favorite bagel that I used to get was the everything bagel. So I always like the little bits of stuff on the top. So that's what this is. So that's really all we're going to use today. The other thing I am going to do, though, going to make some cream cheese to put on it. So I'm going to use some scallion veggie cream cheese. So I'll show you that after we get this mixed up and get it into the oven. Right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go shred my pepper jack cheese. So we're going to go shred probably half that block, and then I'll come back and show you how we put this together. All right, so in our bowl, I have a cup of shredded pepper jack cheese that I just shredded up from a block that I had. And then we're going to add a half a cup of shredded Parmesan cheese to that. And then to that, we are going to add 2 beaten eggs. And I beat them really well. So you don't want any of the separation. So we're just going to add that in. Now, like I said, this recipe reminds me of a cheesy bread recipe that I found online that I've made a few different times, and it comes out really good. I just add a bunch of different seasonings. So if I want like a garlic bread kind of a deal, I just put a bunch of onion powder or garlic powder in it. I've also done Italian, so I put some Italian seasoning, and it is pretty much this basic recipe. So, but this time we're going to attempt to make it into a bagel. I'm excited to try this. Really, I am. I'm glad you guys are along for the ride. I'm always trying to show you some kind of an alternative to your favorite foods. And hopefully this one will work out for us. If not, you'll never see this video and you'll never know. Okay, so we are going to just combine the eggs and the cheese. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put them in some little pans. Now, the recipe that I found online, she uses a donut pan. Well, let me just tell you, I don't have a donut pan. I've never owned one. I'll never own one. So at work, I was talking to the girls that I wanted to try this, And my friend Susan, she's always so helpful. Love you, Susan. She told me she had some mini bundt pans that she makes angel food cake in. And I thought, that'd be perfect. It'll make it look like a bagel because it'll have the hole in the middle. So this looks like just a bigger version of what the website had on it. I didn't have to buy any special equipment because if this recipe doesn't turn out and I never make it again, then I didn't spend money on something that I'm never going to use. Thrifty. Always be thrifty. So what we're going to do, I actually have 6 of these, and in the video that she has, or the post that she has, it makes 6 bagels. So we're going to spray it just with some coconut spray. And we're just going to go around. And I'll do that to all of them. And then we are going to take a teaspoon and we're going to attempt to put our cheese mixture in there. So I'm just going to give that another little bit of a zhuzh. All right, so this should make 6 portions. Let's see how we do with that, huh? I don't know. We'll play it by ear. She said about portioning it out. I'm like, I'm not going to dirty another dish. So I'm just going to go in with my spoon, and I'm going to very gently push that down into the bottom of our little pans. So, you know, you could get creative. Let's say you want to try this recipe. You don't know anybody who has a donut pan or small little bump pans, and you just really want to try this. You know what? Just put it on some parchment paper on a baking sheet and just kind of do your best with making a little hole in the middle. Again, just so it's reminiscent of a bagel. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it'll at least kind of fool your brain. All right. So there we go. I did that. I'm going to fill the rest of these, and then we'll see how much I have left over, whether or not I fill a little bit more. Once we're done, we're going to put these into the oven. They are going to bake at 370, hold on, for about 15-20 minutes. So I'm going to start it at 15, and then we'll go from there. But, all right, you got cheese in your egg. We have it into our little mini bundt pan that we sprayed. I'm excited. Are you excited? Let's try this. So this is why you should never spray all of your tins if you don't know if you're going to use them all. Thankfully, I didn't. I only sprayed 4 of them because the cheese that I had, that's all that it made. So I didn't want to make them any thinner, so I think it'll be okay. So now what we're going to do is go in with our bagel seasoning. Where is it? There it is. So this is Who Needs the Bagel Seasoning. And it is poppy seeds, dried garlic, dried onion, salt. I don't remember what else is in there. But we're just going to sprinkle that on top and just do as much as you like. I figured it'd be easier if I did this with the spoon so I can kind of get it where I want to. And then I'm going to finish these and I'm going to pop it into the oven. And then I'm going to show you the quick cream cheese that I want to make to have with these, okay? So let me see here if you can see. So that's what it looks like. I like a lot of that seasoning, like I said, so I kind of was a little bit generous. So just do what you want. Or if you don't have that or you don't want to try to make it, you could probably just do some garlic or some onion. I don't know, play around with it a little bit. There are no rules. Just go with it. Okay, guys, we're going to put these in the oven, and I'll see you back in a minute with that cream cheese. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to soften it. So I'm just going to take an 8-ounce block of cream cheese, Shazam! My Philadelphia full-fat cream cheese. I'm going to pop that in the microwave for about 30 to 45 seconds just to make it soft to work with. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to cut up some scallions. I bought some scallions when I was at Aldi's the other day. They were only $1. You got to love that. It's a huge bag. I'm going to use that. The other thing I'm going to put in that cream cheese mixture is just some salt-free seasoning. So this is one of those like Mrs. Dash, but I bought it at one of the bulk stores. And so, you know, it doesn't have any salt, but it has all kinds of good seasoning. So we're going to add a little bit of that. So that's what we're going to do after we get this into the oven. Okay, so I have softened my cream cheese, so you can tell it's just easier to move it around. I started cutting my scallions. So I did 4 scallions, and I cut off the little hairy end, pulled off any of the funky pieces, and I just started cutting them. And I just kind of wanted to show you. I'm going to do the green and the white parts. So I am going to use the rest of these, but I just want to show you. I want to do it, I want to cut them so they're in a little bit tinier pieces. So I'm just going to take my knife and very carefully, I'm just going to chop them a little bit rougher. so that I don't have big chunks of scallion in my cream cheese mixture. So, they're trying to get away. Be careful. They're wily little stinkers. End up on the floor. End up on the stove. It's a good thing I cleaned the stove. All right, so that's really all there is to that. And then we're just going to add that into our softened cream cheese. So like I said, I'm going to go ahead and cut up the rest of these scallions to put in here. Might as well go ahead and show you this while I'm at it. Okay, so like I said, we're going to do that. I'm going to take the seasoning, that salt-free Mrs. Dash. That's really all this is. Again, it's just a generic brand. And I'm going to put in, see, that's about a teaspoon, maybe about a teaspoon and a half. Now, the one thing that you're going to want to be careful of, you're not going to want to eat this cream cheese right away. And the reason is because this has some dried onion flakes and garlic flakes in it, and those can get crunchy and be a little bit weird in your mouth. So this will set up well, I'll let it sit up overnight because I'm going to have this for my lunches for the week. But even if you just let it sit in the fridge for a couple of hours, it's going to rehydrate those dried vegetables, so you won't get that crunchy texture. You'll just get the delicious flavor. So we're just going to finish that, and I'll get that all combined, and there you go. We're going to have some scallion cream cheese. I love cream cheese in all of its forms, so, you know, use whatever you have in the house. I think when I did the seed crackers, we did a jalapeno one. I like to do a veggie one. I just kind of look and see what I have. If I don't have any fresh veggies to put into it, I just use some seasonings. Whatever you think would taste good. I mean, it's cream cheese. It's a blank canvas, so just kind of depending on what you're using it for. All right, guys, so I'm going to finish this. We have about 8 minutes left on our bagels. I'll show you what they look like when they come out of the oven. All right, our bagels just came out of the oven. I ended up baking them for about 18 minutes. So you want to wait till the cheese is melted and they have a little bit of a brown crust on them. So if you can see that, that's what we did. And they smell really good. So I'm going to let those cool, and then I'm going to attempt to get them out of these containers. What I'll probably do is just take like a spatula or maybe a little bit of a butter knife just to kind of get the edges, and then dump those out. We'll let them cool for just a couple of minutes, and then we'll try them with some of our scallion cream cheese that we made. That's over here. See how beautiful that came out? I did add a little bit of salt and some fresh cracked pepper to that, just so that you know, and it tastes pretty good. Again, a little crunchy because I haven't let it sit long enough, but you got to taste your food to know if you have it seasoned correctly. All right, guys, we'll give it the final verdict here in just a few minutes. Hey, all right, look, we made bagels. They look like bagels, right? Isn't that awesome? So there were 4, sorry. Now I cut one in half. And I put a little bit of cream cheese on it so I could have that bagel experience. So we're going to taste it. We're going to see how they came out, okay? So I'm going to start with the not cream cheese part. Wow, that's really good. It has a little bit of a bready texture. I'm going to guess it's from the egg. With the everything but the bagel seasoning on it. It reminds me of a bagel. I mean, it's not perfect, come on. It's not going to be, but I didn't have to use any almond flour, coconut flour. I didn't have to mess with any of those flours. Sometimes I don't like the flavors that they lend. Just cheese and eggs. Okay, now let's try it with the cream cheese. That really reminds me of a bagel now. With the cream cheese and the texture of the bagel. Like I said, I'm guessing from the egg. That's delicious. Guys, please, you got to try this. I'm telling you, I'm so excited. Please let me know if you try it, how it comes out. What would you do different? What kind of cream cheese would you use? Did you just want to use regular cream cheese? I don't know. Oh, that's really good. I don't know if those are going to make it for lunch or not. Now, I'm not sure how they're going to be left over. I don't know if they're going to harden up or not. I'm going to keep them in the fridge, and I guess we'll just wait and see what happens on Monday when I take them for lunch. I can't imagine it would be bad. But, yeah, that's delicious. We got another win. All right, guys, so we keep going with those low-carb recipes, trying to make some substitutions to make your life a little bit easier as well as my own. You guys be good to each other. Keep smiling. Peace. come back next week. We'll do something else.